We've seen the upcoming outfit for Carnage, but are there other clues that indicate that more symbiotes are coming to Marvel Strike Force? We're discussing that in this video. Also, Iso8 Blue looks like a major bottleneck for some of the endgame content in Marvel Strike Force. We're discussing some of the issues with that and the rest of your questions from the Monday mailbag, guys. And if you're ready for it, find that like button and let's go smash it.
ValleyFlyin.
Hello, Valley Maniacs. What is up? I am ValleyFlyin. Welcome back to the ValleyFlyin channel. I hope you're having a great day. I hope you had a great weekend, and I hope you enjoyed the update preview that we released earlier this morning for Marvel Strike Force. Looks like update 5.6 is coming maybe tomorrow, maybe Wednesday, but it should be coming this week along with Deadpool and her event. And if this is your first time here, guys, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you know as soon as there's another video uploaded on this channel. But today we are talking all about the mailbag questions. We're talking about some more symbiotes potentially coming. Are there more clues? We're going to discuss what you guys asked about in the mailbag, and you guys can decide if you think that means that more symbiotes are coming or not. Also, Iso8 Blue, we got some issues with that, but let's get right into your questions, guys. All right, first one, not a question. Actually, we're getting to the non-questions first. Not a question, rather answer to one of last week's questions. The writer said a mutant with a ping ability like Black Bolt and Kestrel would argue that there's a mutant ability with a ping. So if we go back to the question from last week and see what it says. The question from last week said, currently there are no mutants with passive damage abilities like Kestrel. She has for tech and skill. Black Bolt for bio. Deathpool will have that for Mystic when she comes out. X23 and Jubilee gets turn meter, but no mutant could do damage from the passive as of now. And I totally forgot this. You are definitely right, Darkstalker. I totally forgot about this. I would argue there is a mutant ability with ping, not necessarily very potent attack. Yes, it is very weak attack, which is why it's very easy to forget about. But Iceman's ping on his passive, yes, before someone takes a turn, he does a little bit of damage, and yeah, sometimes he does get some kills with that. So yes, very, very true. Thank you for the reminder, brother Darkstalker. And yeah, so I guess every single class is going to have someone, although that Iceman one is pretty weak. But yes, technically they do have one. All right, next. Hey, Valley from Washington in the UK. Maybe I'm reading into something, into nothing, but the recent news post about Deathpool was called Death and Mayhem. Mayhem is a symbiote, so perhaps this is a tease for a new biotune. Perhaps. Let's go examine the evidence and let you guys decide if you think this means a new symbiote is coming. All right, this was the blog post from August 6th, a couple weeks ago. And if we go and check out marvel.fandom.com, we do see there is a symbiote named Mayhem. May Parker, aka April Parker, on Earth 982, which is different than the normal Earth Earth 616. May Parker was born. Norman Osborn secretly had her cloned and kept one of her place and placed her in a stasis chamber for years. So yes, this is a symbiote. Not too familiar with this one, but according to this, it looks like this symbiote debuted in 2008 and died in 2010. So interesting stuff here, but there is another character called Mayhem, and this has some relation with some characters that are coming to the game that we know is character of the game. This is a different character called Mayhem. This is Bridget O'Reilly. This is from Earth 616, so this is the normal reality. And Bridget O'Reilly was a police detective in Manhattan when she learned Cloak and Dagger were attacking criminals in her precinct. Cloak and Dagger we know is coming to the game, as we see in this YouTube video about Deathpool that was posted on August 12th on the YouTube channel of Marvel Strike Force. But yes, I wonder if this is a character. Now, this is neither of these Mayhem characters I've heard of, so I don't know the likelihood of either of these characters coming. I think it is more likely a symbiote will be coming, especially for help with the bio nodes. But this Mayhem character, this character with the Mayhem name does seem like she has some synergy with Cloak and Dagger. Perhaps a new warrior, although she looks more like a villain than a hero here. But I don't know. I'm not too familiar. Let me know your thoughts, guys. Do you think either of these Mayhems were coming, or was that just a choice of words that was used in the blog post? Let me know in the comments, guys. Let's get back to the questions, though, and let's see. We'll see what happens. Obviously not in 5.6, but let's see what the teases are in 5.7, and we may have to come back to this because this may be a major clue that that I missed, and I'm glad you noticed, brother. All right, which do you like more in an arena? When there was all Black Order versus Black Order, or now with it being Infinity Watch versus Infinity Watch? Neither of them are good. I mean, the first few fights are like, oh, this is cool, but after you figure out the order and everything, it gets kind of boring. So both of those fights are boring. I think the Black Order fight was a little quicker. So just for the speed of that, I think I would pick the Black Order. It's a little more reliable, not as much RNG, whereas sometimes with the Infinity Watch, depending what the AI does, sometimes they end up losing that fight. But so for that reason, I'll pick Black Order over Infinity Watch, but neither are fun. I think my most recent fun time I've had in Arena was that transition period between Black Order and Infinity Watch when there was a bunch of dad bros and Emma, and there was a little theory crafting. Everybody ended up using the same team after all, but those are very, very fast battles, and it made Arena so much more enjoyable in my opinion. Obviously, some variety in Arena would be best, but if there's not going to be variety, at least make it quick, and that's kind of how I feel about the arena right now, especially if you're doing the same battles every day. If it wasn't the exact same battle every day, I think it would be fun. So hopefully they find a way to introduce more variety into arena. But yeah, it's both of them are pretty boring. And if it's gonna be boring, the quicker one is gonna win by default for me. All right, greetings once again from San Diego. Greetings from Texas, brother. Stay classy, my friend. Hope the ValleyFlyin is doing well. They are, and I hope the Mormouth family is doing well as well, my brother. Gonna keep my question simple, but free to rant away. Where is the Iso8 Blue campaign? All right, so. I don't know. I think they may be doing more playtesting. I hope they're doing more playtesting. I hope they find other release methods other than just the Doom Raids Part 2, and with Battle Pass or sales or whatever. I hope they find more ways. Now, we will see what happens with this Death Pool event later this week. It may have some Iso8 Blue for the entire community. I saw some comments that it may indicate that it's just those credits, which would not be good if it's just that. But if it's these whole Iso8, it would be good. Now, because you're saying keep going, rant away, let me talk about some of these issues that I have with Iso8 Blue right now. And one of it is the way to get it. It's tied behind the Doom Raid, which I guess is good. It's meant for later game content. But when you're tying other content with these Iso8 Blue and is tied to progress for endgame, it's kind of not as exciting. As an endgame player, I want to be able to access endgame content. I guess we're gonna have to grind with this, but we're also gonna have to make sure that we're in a good alliance if we want to get this. So if we want to progress with our content, we're gonna have to make sure that our alliance is also aligned with us. And yeah, like a lot of people thought, as soon as these announcements were made for these for Dark Dimension 5 and how we could get that blue teal gear only from the Doom 2 raids, yeah, breakup of alliances was a major concern. Now, here's my issue with the current system in with this stuff. I've been with the Iso8 Blue. So I've been farming Thanos for a long time. I actually stopped farming as soon as that announcement was made, the requirements for Dark Dimension 5. But before this, it was probably about 3, maybe 4 weeks or so. I don't remember. It was a long time though that I was trying to get this last piece. As I was doing this, I was getting a few other pieces of this protector gear. I was getting a bunch of other pieces all on that left pillar there, but not the piece I need. So I was opening orb after orb after orb, 3 orbs a day, never got this last piece. And the RNG nature of this tied to that endgame content does not feel good. So this whole system, I think, needs to be revamped. If they did something similar to what they did with Iso8 Green, where you could farm specific pieces, yeah, I think it would reduce a lot of the frustration. Right now, I think the big bottleneck is with the selecting which pieces you need. You could have like I have 27 plus these 25 of these damage gears, but only 8 of these, and I was not able to get them up to level 3. Now, this was something that I was doing before I found out the requirements. As soon as I stopped this, as soon as I found out what the requirements for Dark Dimension 5 were, I stopped this because I don't know how valuable he's going to be, honestly. I was doing this because I had him almost maxed, and putting this at here would have Thanos maxed again. More for a something that I wanted to do for my roster, not necessarily what I think is the best thing long term for everybody. But again, this is a game. You got to do what makes you happy and what gives you fun. So if for myself, upgrading Yelena all that ways was fun. Upgrading Thanos is fun. Not necessarily best for gameplay, but yeah. So all that stuff is said. Iso8 Blue needs to be fixed. All right, next question. Hope all is well with you and your family. Same with you, brother. Question on gold promos. Do you think Farmable is worth investing 100 gold promos to get her to 6 red stars? For myself, I would say no, but like I was talking about the last question, everybody has different priorities. And my question back to you would be, first, do you have her at 6 gold stars? Because if you don't have her at 6 gold stars, don't spend a promotion credit, save it for someone else. So I hope in asking this question, you at least have her at 6 gold stars to make that red star worth it. Context, I already have Gamora, Silver Surfer, Keshel, 6 red stars, and I have 200 gold promos. So I gotta be honest. I don't have that 6 star on Farmable. I think I pulled the 6 star, but I don't. I have the 5th gold star on her. So effectively don't have the 6 star, and she's still fine. The Infinity Watch still works fine for me. I do have a 6 star Nebula, so that may be what I recommend. But and it's kind of hard to predict the future. Maybe down the road, Farmable will have some value outside of an Infinity Watch. It's kind of hard to say how long Infinity Watch is going to be in the meta, so it's kind of hard to say for the future how much those gold promotion credits. Now, the good thing is you have 200, so even if you invest in Farmable, you'll still have another 100 to do another character. But the future, it's hard to predict. So let me ask you this: in Arena, where you're probably using your Infinity Watch, are there teams that you're not able to beat right now? If there are, and Farmable is the one holding you back, definitely put those credits in there. Get your Arena team set. If you're using in raids, would putting that extra red star on her help you in raids? And obviously in war, sometimes the matchmaking is screwed up and it doesn't really matter, but other times there's some good matchmaking. And is having that only 5 gold stars or 5 red stars on Farmable keeping you back from winning some war matchups? So that is what I was keeping in mind. The gold promos are very hard to come by, so keep those. They should be kind of sacred, and only put those on characters that's going to give you a very good benefit right away. If it's not, if you're doing it more for fun, obviously you can do that because this is a game. But if you want to try to be the most effective, put the red stars, put T4s on characters that you're using a lot or that you're going to get an immediate benefit in your roster. That would be my recommendations for that. But personally, I would not buy a 5th star on Farmable. I did pull that, so but I don't know if I'd buy that if I only pulled 5. All right, one more thing, suggestion for an improvement. I love these suggestions. It would be cool if we were to convert at least one ability mat, maybe even gear parts up and down for tiers, perhaps switch them exchange a loss every time. So yeah, if we were to convert stuff, there would have to be some kind of loss. In Marvel Future Revolution, they do convert a lot of their gear at like a 5-to-1 ratio. This one is, I think, for example, trading 100 T3 mats for 1 T4. So 100-to-1 ratio seems a little high. I think something maybe in the 20 to 50 range, although the economy is a little different in Future Revolution. So maybe the 100 would be good because I don't know, but I would like something. The conversion, we could discuss seeing what is right looking the economy of the game, but I do like this. Trading up X amount of T3 or T2 and T1 and getting the one above it, I think that would be great. I doubt it's this original idea. It's not, but it's an idea that I hope the devs will eventually consider. I'm guessing others have suggested in the past. I just wanted to give it another plug. Yes, that's exactly what you're doing, and hopefully the devs hear this again, because that is a system that, especially if you tie it to Alliance. I know video game companies want people to be alliances so that you have that bond to your alliance. If you're not doing something, I guess the bad feeling when you're letting your alliance down is enough for a lot of players to keep playing, or that keeping up with the rest of the alliance. So if you tied this to alliance, I think it would be helpful for players, and it'd also make that alliance a little stronger, those alliance bonds stronger, which is something that Scopeless wants. And hopefully with that, you're playing the game how you want and not having this fear of missing out if you're in a whaley alliance. All right, but that's not Scopeless' intent. But realize that is what they want to do: get you an alliance so that you spend more. All right, Valley. Greetings from East Tennessee, my brother. Greetings from Central Texas, my brother. My alliance is currently Platinum 1, and war is just not fun at all. Either we get matched with an unbeatable war or an easy win. Very rarely an easy matchup. That kind of stinks. Sometimes we get some big matchups, we get some small matchups, but we also get some decent matchups that we're fighting. And I think competitive is the most fun for not just for the alliance punching up, for the alliance punching down as well. Being competitive is probably fun for everybody. Do you think the proposed changes in war will make war fun again? All right, so the proposed changes in war, I don't believe that they affected matchmaking at all. But I do know the proposed changes in war, I think they're going back. They did say that in the Road Ahead blog post that they're going back and doing another round of playtesting. So as far as I heard, the initial tests were not as well received as they wanted. I think from what I've heard them say is what they want to do with war is not make it as time dependent. And I think that's what the changes were supposed to do. I don't know if they did that. So hopefully they go back and do these make some other changes, implement other changes to war, because for me, I think the biggest thing that I don't like is that tying the time. I've moved to a casual alliance about a month or two ago, and I'm having a lot more fun because I can attack when I want. I'm not having the pressure to attack in that first 2 or 3 hours, and because they're pretty casual as far as wars, the rest of alliance is like that as well. So yeah, being able to attack based on when you want, when your schedule dictates, and not whenever that war starts, I think would be an improvement to war. I think that would ease up some player burnout. Also, another thing I would like to see, obviously, better matchmaking. And the system that a lot of you guys have proposed, making it based on efficiency, not based on speed. Because if you base it on efficiency and not speed, trying to get armory bonus and all these bonuses before your opponents, if they made these things based on efficiency, that would lead to the big thing that I want, which is a war that you could attack whenever you want. So that is what I would like to see in war. Next question is also about war. What is up from Ohio? Keep on smashing yourself, brother. What is the deal with war? Gold 3. Last 2 seasons, we got matched with only gold 4 alliances. We won 2 of our last 3, so Scopeless does what? Give us a platinum 1 alliance? I don't understand it. So I think if they went to an efficiency-based system, like a lot of the Valley Club and the rest of the MSF community is suggesting, I think this could ease up the requirements of having 4 different zones, because right now, you're dividing all the alliances into 4 because of the 4 different time zones. If it was all one time zone, everybody could start all at the same time, I think we would get better matchmaking with that. And I think a lot of the reason that we have the matchmaking the way it is because we have 4 different time zones. We have a multiple alliances in each time zone. And sometimes when you're trying to find a matchup when there's nobody that is around the power level of the alliance, it's because they're in other time zones. So if they shifted this so that time zones didn't matter, it was maybe more based on efficiency. You didn't have to be on the war right away, because if you did, you would be hurting. If you weren't, you would be hurting on lines. If they shifted that, I think that would make matchmaking better. I think, at least for myself, that would make it a lot more fun. Let me know your thoughts, though. What changes would you want to see Scopeless bring to war? What would make war more fun for you? And hopefully we could hopefully get some of these suggestions in the next round of playtesting. I'm not sure what has been decided yet, but hopefully there's still time, and hopefully we can still get this get some of these changes for war implemented in the next round of playtesting, and hopefully they can go live in the game if they're positively received. All right, next question. I have a suggestion, actually a suggestion, not a question. All right, why do we need an API or third party to check alliance members, rosters, or anyone else? Why not make a player profile screen as 2 selections with left and right toggle 2 clicks? The overview, which shows our regular player profile info. And I think we could see this part right now. And then roster, by clicking this button, people could directly see our rosters. All right, and I did think of a reason that they wouldn't do that, but you do address it down here. This will help alliance leaders and captains a lot. And this is what I would think would be the issue with it. If someone doesn't want to share the roster with others, they could hide it by using an option in advanced settings. I love this. The only other thing I would want an API for at this point, because I think a lot of what they're holdback is for privacy of users and to make sure none of the other data that they don't want out there gets out. But I think having an API transferring all this data to a third-party software can make it easier to manage and organize and things like that. If you have all the numbers just uploaded on a spreadsheet in real time, I think that would make it a lot easier for captains and leaders to plan out lanes and things like that. But yeah, I mean, if there'll be, as far as viewing rosters, if we had these changes, I think that would be good. But I still do want that ability to export stuff just for organization purposes, because if we had this in the game, I think that would be a good temporary solution. I think this is something that they may be able to implement before they have that full API, but I don't know. I mean, hopefully it's coming sooner rather than later, but this would be cool. But I would also want an API in addition to this, just because instead of typing things manually, even if you have all the access to it, I think just having exported all in a spreadsheet or on msf.gg where it's very easy to click and manage, I think that would help alliance leaders and captains as well. But I'm not an alliance leader and captain. I've been one in other games. If there's something else that an API would do, let me know in the comments, guys. All right, Valleyman, quick question, and we actually have an answer here as well. If one spends a ton of cores on an event campaign, death pool, is it more beneficial beat all the hard nodes, then slide down to the medium ones, or to spend cores refreshing the hard nodes? Thanks, Bud. Cheers from St. Louis. And the answer is right here. I don't even have to answer it because the Valley Club is so knowledgeable. You guys know. I would suggest beating hard, refreshing them at the highest nodes. They yield the best returns. Actually, I don't agree with this. I don't agree. I thought the answer was different. I'd say go to your hards, go to the mediums now, and then go down to the mediums because it's more efficient use of cores. So their energy per the orb shard that you're getting at the harder levels are a little better, but your core per the core per orb shard at the medium level is a little better. So do all your hards first, but I think you're spending cores a little less cores per the shard if you're doing just the energy and not having to refresh the node and use the energy. So that would be my suggestion. This is right because it has a better yield as far as the energy, but when you're talking about core per shard, it's not it doesn't yield as better results. So go with hard, mediums. I guess you could, or I'm not sure of going down to easy at that point would be better, but yes, hopefully everybody gets that easy 6 and 7 star for this death pool event because she's supposed to be really, really good. All right, any tips for a new streamer on Twitch? Keep on smashing. So this is an interesting question. I've always viewed Twitch as a place for fun. There's some people that make a lot of revenue on Twitch. They do it professionally. There's some people that just do it plainly for fun and not expecting anything. And there's a bunch of people all the way in between. I think I'm more in the in-between, but more leaning towards fun. I view Twitch as a good place to hang out with the Valley Club, to chat, to relax. Whereas things like YouTube is a little more, I put a little more pressure on myself to make sure things are good on YouTube. So, and not like I don't want to put quality on Twitch either, but I view Twitch as more for fun. So as far as tips for a new streamer, I think one of the biggest tips is going to be consistency. One of the things that I did when I was starting my YouTube channel was video every day, non-monetized channel, not getting anything for it except building the channel, building the community, and kind of grew from there. Twitch kind of the same way. If you're on at the same time every day doing the same content and always upgrading stuff where applicable, whether it's your scenes or anything, you kind of you don't want to be stagnant with anything. So consistency and upgrading where you can, and not necessarily talking about hardware where you have to spend money, but just little tiny details that you could work out in the background. There's a lot of free software out there. And I guess that's it. I don't consider myself an expert on Twitch. I've been doing YouTube a lot longer than Twitch, and I take YouTube a lot more seriously. But I think the thing that stands for both is consistency on both, putting out consistent content and actually making sure that you're having fun as well. Because if you're not having fun, you're not going to want to stream. You're not going to have that consistency. So make sure that what you're doing is fun. Make sure that you're actually having fun when you're playing. And I guess it's a personal preference, but I like talking a lot on stream. I know there's some streamers that are pretty quiet, and it is an audience for that. There's a big audience for that. Personally, I tend to like the channels that are talking all the time, talking to their audience, and I think just consistency helps with that. So I hope this helps. I know my answer was a little scattered, but I wouldn't consider my expert on Twitch, but consistency for anything I think is going to be key, and you're going to learn and grow and just make sure you're not staying stagnant. All right. What's up, ValleyFlyin? I hope all is going well, brother. Quick one. Since the RTA minor change banning origin traits, has your fun engagement level changed any with the RTA? The fun level was around the same. The engagement level went down, but I gotta say I like the changes a lot better because the matches are quicker. I could get what I need every day is 4 matches that I win. That's all. And if with the right team, with the right speed manipulation, it's very quick. I'm spending about 5 minutes instead of 20 plus minutes every day playing RTA. So I love the changes, but as far as fun, it's about the same. Engagement level is lower because I'm not spending as much time with it. But I guess you can argue that during those 5 minutes, I'm actually playing the battle because I can't just hit auto. I actually have to play the moves, and it's not always a cookie cutter matchup that goes the same way. I've had mirror matches that go very different ways based on what the opponent does and their placement and things like that. So it's not the worst, but so as far as time, it went down. Engagement level, I guess you could argue that it's up, depending how you define that. Finished my 200 knockouts. Didn't see a single Infinity Watch team. So yeah, banning the origin traits and the origin characteristics and the trait characters is good. Dare I say, I actually had fun playing RTA. I think the community's divided on this. I think there's a lot of community like you and myself that are enjoying these changes more. Does it make it more fun? I don't know. But for some people it will. But at the very least, it's taking less time. And there's other people that probably are newer mid-game players, unfortunately, that don't have all the characters that are in the meta, that meet the requirements right now. Probably not having a lot of fun trying to see what works. Maybe the Phoenix and 4 bad characters, maybe a Zemo and 4 bad characters, and hopefully getting it. But as far as what you got to win, it just turns to 4. I think a big thing with that would be matchmaking, though. If they improve the matchmaking, made the matches a little more even, I think it would be fun. Yeah, welcoming change. Saw some interesting hybrid teams, great content. I did also see some hybrid teams in the beginning, but towards the end of the weekend, I was seeing a lot of the similar teams with some slight variations as well. All right, next question. Hey, Valley, love the content. As we recently saw the interview with Cerebro that's getting a lot of attention in the community, but where's the real interview that the community is looking for? I'm talking about the interview too, where you and Remedex, etc. interview CM Whip and senior Commander Zemo. This is the interview the community is looking for. Get some great information how to whale harder on this game from those two. So I know this has been much requested. While unfortunately, with 4 people's schedules don't always line up. So I do want to see this as well. I think this would be a fun interview, and hopefully we can make it work. I want to see this as well. So I'll reach out to Remedex and I'll see if I can contact Whip and Zemo and see if we could get something going. I would love this. Let's see if their schedules align, and if they do, one day this will happen, guys. Yo, Valley, thanks for the interview with senior community manager Zemo. Thrice up the dudes for Zemo Hill. All right, so I guess it's not a question, but I'm glad you enjoyed that interview, brother. Next question. Hey, Valley, as someone who's mostly free to pay, the hard time keeping up with these legendaries. At this point, I've all expect to get them 3 to 4 months after they've been released. I was wondering if you heard anything about the legendary event cadence. It was pretty solid in 2020. It was pretty standard. This character, then this character, then this character, then this character, and they didn't deviate that till December. Since December, it's been all over the place, with some characters getting these reoccurring ones, some characters becoming permanent. A character like Jubilee that was, I believe around January or February, didn't come back for about 6 months or so before her original release. So it's very weird. So there's no real cadence as far as I could tell right now. Hopefully they get back to that, make it a little less confusing. But yeah, unfortunately, it's kind of up in the air. This is something that's Scopeless, I think they try to hide. They want to get that fear of missing out, that panic buying that entices a lot of their community to want to get those that buys so they could get the legendaries. And yeah, so we'll see if they normalize this a little. It's been a while. It's been where are we in August now, so about 9 months, because it was around December that they shifted the schedule. Hopefully they do something to make it a little more predictable. I think that would actually help them with sales, but I don't know. I don't know what their reasoning is. Maybe they're making more money doing it like this. If you've heard anything about that legendary cadence, when will Adam, Jubilee, and Doc be coming again? So I think we will have another Jubilee before Adam. Doc, I think, would probably be the next one if it's my guess, but again, this is Scopely Boundless we're talking about. Who knows when they're going to do these things? And I know a lot of their plans, they did discuss that some of their plans they have to change because of things from Marvel and Marvel Studios and things like that. So yeah, I just, it's hard to say. Hey, Valley, hope all is well. Hope all is well with you as well, brother. I've said this somewhere along the line posted before. It feels like Scopely and Boundless, Scopeless. That's an interesting one. All right, are extremely dependent on the players based off the love of the Marvel IP. Their love of playing hero collector games like MSF, or even the amount of time and money invested already. And that's why they're extremely slow to fix or even address the problems that plague the game. Even your Jason Benner interview, or Philosopher's more recent one with Cerebral, feels like it actually had extremely minimal effects. As far as the effects, it's hard to say because Scopely has been very slow to respond to a lot of stuff, especially since the lockdown hit. And I know they're not in the offices yet, so they're having to do a lot of communication online and virtual type of stuff. So I think that has to do a lot with the slow communication. I hope that has to do a lot with the slow communication, because when the lockdown is done, when they're back in the offices, hopefully we get stuff done a lot quicker. But that may be due to the speed. I know they're talking about fixing things in the Envoy chat a while before it gets done. So I think their intention is to do stuff at a normal rate that you would see in, I guess normal is not a good word, but at a rate that you would see in other games, that kind of speed, but it doesn't really get done. I'm not sure why, but it does appear that they're listening for most of the items. But as far as the speed that they react and actually implement a game, it's probably about like 4 times as long as I feel it should be. A lot of it, most of the time we don't get answers within a day. We normally get it the next week or the second week after that. Some of the various things that they said done in the past 3 years, like we supposedly our own harshest critics and their alleged fragile framework never sat right with me. I'm not even sure if I'm the only one that thinks. No, you're definitely not the only one that thinks this. Being their own harshest critics, that was awesome when I read that. I'm like, all right, they have some quality, they have some standards, and then I think it was like a couple days later, there's another bug and another bug and another bug and another error. So I don't know. But like I said with the video last week, if they're not gonna fix this, and I know they're not gonna catch all the bugs, because there's humans working on there, so the humans make errors. But if they're not going to do that, if they're not going to catch all the bugs, at least you have a lot of communication. And I felt that they did that last week. Obviously, the better solution would be fix these bugs and not have to communicate about it. It'd be way less work and way less man hours to have that done. But I guess we could just hope on this. What are your thoughts on this? Yeah, that's so. I don't know. I think they're trying. I don't think they execute as well. And I think a lot of it was revealed in that recent interview that Philosopher did with Cerebro. They don't play the game like that we do. They were not aware that mid-game players were starved for T2s. They weren't aware that people were going and driving up the lanes of Doom to finish that. I think a lot of their decisions are made that without the players' interest in mind. Hopefully, the recent negative backlash of the community has wanted them to change, has helped them change their ways. But I guess we'll see. I mean, it seems like there's a lot of positive things, more positives than negatives, but I think there's still a lot of negatives that have been issues that have been long-standing that they need to fix. But I think a lot of the more recent things has been more positive than negative. But let's hold off and see how they do with Dark Dimension 5 and all that, because I think that was one of the big really big negatives for me is the way that was unlocked. All right, but other than that, I think not that bad. All right, at least recently for myself. All right, hey Valley, hope you're doing great. About to start DD3 City. Was hoping you could get some recommendations of Iso8 classes to use. I'm using Symbiote Spider-Man, Anti-Venom Doc Ock, and Scream. Any advice would be great. All right, so I haven't been into Dark Dimension 3 for a while. I think I just used 3 symbiotes, possibly, maybe 4. I don't know if there were 4 at the time, but maybe I did Punisher. I don't know. But I did not use Doc Ock. I don't think I had Anti-Venom and Scream, so I think I had Symbiote Spider-Man, Carnage, and Venom. So what I use is probably going to be a little different, but Symbiote Spider-Man, the obvious class for him is Raider. I 100% know I had a Raider at the time that I was in Dark Dimension 3, but I shifted the Iso8 class on Symbiote Spider-Man to Skirmisher so I could get that extra focus at Iso8 level 5. Mainly for that Dark Dimension 4 node with Emma Frost in the city section, but I think in Dark Dimension 3 you would be fine going with Raider on Symbiote Spider-Man. He has multiple moves that target a few enemies, so that would help him with that. Anti-Venom, Striker is one of the main things for him. He has a very good heal, applies debuffs. You may want to do Healer on him, but yes, I think Striker is the predominant class. His basic applies debuffs to the enemies, so that is good. Doc Ock is the one you want Healer on. I don't see another class that really stands out for him. He's got regenerations. He's got a large health pool. He'll help keep players alive. He'll help keep your roster alive while you're in there. I think he's kind of the healer that I had for the legendary section of Dark Dimension 4. So I think he'll be very good as your main healer in Dark Dimension 3 City. And then Scream, Striker. You know, removing that extra stuff is really good with that Striker class. Like getting the extra hit is good. He has a decent basic that removes debuffs buffs, as well. So that is my recommendation. Symbiote Spider-Man Raider, probably Dark Dimension 4. You may want to go Skirmisher level 5. Anti-Venom Striker, Doc Ock Healer, and Scream also Striker. Next, I am partway through Dark Dimension 4. Missing some Gear 15 pieces is my best bet. Waiting for them to appear in the stores. And are there plans to make the rest of them fountable? That is how you need to farm them. So the places you get them is from the main supply store. You're getting from the war store, war orbs, and then those Armory 15 orbs. Those are, I think, the main places that I got them from. And I think the plan to make them farmable, they did mention Origin gear for the making that stuff a little more available. I think we'll see some things in the update. Their intent did that. I'm always confused whenever they write about the stuff. What do they mean by these certain definitions? I think it'd be easier when they're writing blog posts if they talk about orange 13s, orange 14s, orange 15s, or put that in parentheses just so players that don't know the exact terms that Scopeless is using still has kind of an idea of what they're talking about. And I think the plan to make them farmable, I think all of them are going to be farmable, even those rare 13s. When those teal gear comes out with those Doom raids. So I think that is their intent, to ease up the bottlenecks in orange when teal comes out. But we will see. We'll see. Has Drew the Rumor Guy heard anything about Gambit or Rogue ever coming to the game? Well, I think all of us heard rumors about Gambit Rogue coming to the game on that Facebook post. I believe it was back in December or November of 2020 with that Gambit Rogue strange cryptic post on Facebook. They also post about MODOK. None of them ever came to the game, so I'm not sure if it was just kind of trolling the community with that. But I know they're very popular. I know Scopely knows they're popular. I think they're just waiting for the right time to announce to have them come to the game. Doesn't look like we're in a mutant trend for a little bit, though. I think right now we're gonna get some mystic characters. The next, I think we're gonna get either tech or bio to help in the Doom raids. After that, I think we'll get the other version of that, and then maybe back to mutants. So at that point, and we're talking maybe this November or December, at that point, actually November would probably be something with Eternal, so maybe December with more mutants, but I don't know. The Spider-Verse movie, I think I remember it correctly, is coming out in December, so that maybe we get more bio and more symbiotes. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts, though, guys. What are you leaning to as far as when we're gonna get Gambit and Rogue? You know they're popular characters. You know if this game is still around, they're gonna be released at some point. The question is when. All right. Thank you guys. Thank you everyone that submitted a question this week, whether your question got answered or not. I think I actually got all of them in, even the ones that weren't questions. So thank you guys. And if you want to get your question potentially featured on an upcoming episode of the Monday Mailbag, make sure you are a member of the Discord. The link is down below. It's an awesome community, very knowledgeable community, and you can leave your questions there, and I will try to answer as many as possible. And yes, thank you guys for watching. Check out some of my other videos. Check out my social media. I post a little bit more on Twitter, but I'm starting to up Instagram, or want to start to up Instagram. And hopefully I'll see you in the morning for the Valley Club in the morning live stream on Twitch. ValleyFlyin76 is the channel. I will see you guys next time. Give me a Hulk fist bump before you go, baby. ValleyFlyin out. Have a great rest of your day, guys.